The world lied to you. They told you that success was reserved for the chosen few, that greatness was a lottery ticket handed out at birth, that your dreams were foolish, that your hunger was naive, that your ambition was dangerous. They lied. And today, you will see the truth. Because the brutal, beautiful reality is this: one shift, one single seismic shift in your mind can make you unstoppable. There comes a moment in every life when the walls close in, when the path ahead blurs into mist and the voices of doubt grow deafening. You have known this moment. We all have. It is the crucible where dreams are forged or shattered, where destiny hangs in the balance. And it is here, right here, that the universe asks you a question. Are you willing to believe? Not just to believe when the sun is shining and the wind is at your back. Not just to believe when the applause rains down. But to believe when no one is watching, when no one understands, when the world tells you to turn back. This is the moment that separates the ordinary from the unstoppable. And so the campaign unfolds, step by step, revelation by revelation, because the truth, the raw, unvarnished truth, is this: it is not talent, it is not luck, it is not the resources you were born with. It is one mindset, one unshakable inner shift that draws a line in the sand and says, I will not be denied. It was the mindset that Thomas Edison clung to through 10,000 failed experiments, whispering into the darkness, I have not failed. I have simply found 10,000 ways that do not work. Why did he continue when logic would have told him to stop? Because he knew what few dare to understand. The only failure is surrender. It was the mindset that Abraham Lincoln carried through crippling losses, crushing defeats, and the death of loved ones, still standing tall to etch his name into the pages of history. And now, it is your turn. You stand at the crossroads. One road leads to the life you were handed. The other leads to the life you were meant to create. Which will you choose? If you would only shift your mind, even a fraction of an inch, even a breath of a thought, you would begin to understand that the limitations you see are illusions, that the barriers before you are mist, and mist cannot hold back the determined. So let the mist tremble before you. You see, the greatest lie you have ever been told is that success is complicated. It is not. It is the simplest equation in the world. What you believe, you become. If you believe you are beaten before you begin, you are. If you believe the mountain is too high, it is. If you believe the door is locked, you will not bother to knock. But if you believe, truly, wholly, stubbornly believe, that what you seek is already yours by divine right, the universe itself will bend to meet you. Will you dare to believe? Faith, unbreakable, defiant faith, is the alchemy that transmutes dust into gold. Do you think Andrew Carnegie built an empire because he waited for the perfect conditions? He made conditions. He dared to believe he could rise from nothing, from a dirt-poor immigrant, into one of the greatest magnates the world has ever known. It was not his money that made him rich. It was his mind. The mind is the furnace, the forge, the fount of all that is. But most walk through life shackled, not by the world, but by their own thinking. Do you see it? They wear invisible chains of, I can't, I'm not ready, maybe someday. Break them. Today, not tomorrow, because tomorrow is a liar, a thief that steals from the willing but hesitant. The only reality is now. The only power is now. The only moment you will ever possess is now. Seize it. Do you feel it? That stirring within you, that whisper of destiny you have long tried to silence. It grows louder when you are quiet. It burns hotter when you are still. It is the call to greatness that cannot be smothered, no matter how many layers of fear and doubt you throw upon it. It is the spark of the divine within you, and it demands to be answered. But to answer it, you must first decide, who are you? Not who were you told to be, not who society expects you to be, not even who you were yesterday. Who are you now, in this breath, in this heartbeat? Will you define yourself by the failures behind you or by the vision before you? Because vision is the beginning of all miracles. Vision is not a luxury. It is the lifeblood of creation. When Henry Ford envisioned a car for the common man, they called him mad. When he dared to dream of mass production lines, they mocked him. Yet he held to that vision with a grip so fierce that nothing, not failure, not ridicule, not even his own doubts, could pry it from his hands. And because he saw it before it was real, it became real. Will you hold your vision that fiercely? You must, because the future belongs not to the timid, but to the bold. You must see it first. You must taste it, feel it, live it within your mind until it becomes more real than the concrete under your feet. Vision is not a passive daydream. It is a war cry to the universe. It is a declaration that says, I see what is not yet visible, and I will make it manifest. And once the vision is clear, once it burns so brightly within you that it cannot be extinguished, then and only then does purpose awaken. Purpose is not found. Purpose is forged. Will you forge yours? It is hammered into existence by the relentless pursuit of your highest self. It is born from the sacred marriage between your gifts and your fire. Your purpose is the reason your heart beats faster when you imagine a better world. It is the song that your soul sings in the quiet hours before dawn. It is the mission that makes all hardship, all sacrifice, all labor seem not only worth it, but glorious. And when you live with purpose, you become a force so potent that obstacles scatter before you like leaves before a storm. Yet, purpose without discipline is a ship without a rudder. And so the question sharpens, will you do what must be done even when you do not feel like it? Because the dreamers who soar are not those who merely wish. They are those who do. They are those who rise when it is easier to sleep, who train when it is simpler to complain, who move forward when every fiber of their being screams to stop. Discipline is the lever that lifts the impossible. It is the quiet daily choice to align your actions with your highest vision, even when no one is watching, even when no immediate reward appears. Every step forward, every small victory, every refusal to quit. These are the bricks by which you build an unshakable life, and the world bows to those who refuse to bow. You are not judged by the magnitude of your wins, but by the resilience of your will. And that resilience is fed by one sacred wellspring, action. What will you do when fear grips you by the throat? Action in the face of fear. Action in the face of uncertainty. Action without guarantee of success, without promise of reward, without any assurance beyond the whisper that says, try one more time. Because action is the language of faith. It is how you tell the universe, I believe so much, I am willing to move before I see. The world does not reward intentions, it rewards execution. It rewards those who knock on doors until their knuckles bleed, who build when the blueprints are unfinished, who leap before the bridge is visible. The dream is not enough, the plan is not enough, and only action breathes life into destiny. And when you act, truly act, when you step beyond the trembling edge of fear, you awaken forces far greater than yourself. You send a signal into the fabric of reality itself. I am here. I am coming. I will not be denied. What stands in your way? Nothing but vapor. The failures, the losses, the betrayals, they are not final sentences. They are initiations. They are the rites of passage through which every giant has walked barefoot, bleeding, unbowed. Every blow you take strengthens your armor. Every storm you endure sharpens your blade. Every setback is a new lesson carved into the bedrock of your character. The question is not whether you will fall. You will. The question is, will you rise faster than you fell? Because those who win in this life are not those who never stumble. They are those who stumble, and in the very next breath, roar back to their feet. Resilience is not merely surviving hardship. It is weaponizing it. It is turning pain into fuel, loss into laser focus, rejection into relentless ambition. It is saying to the world, throw your worst at me. I will not only survive, I will thrive because of it. And so the campaign marches forward, deeper into the heart of the battle. Gratitude becomes your secret weapon. Not soft gratitude, not the weak kind that says, I am thankful only when I am comfortable, but ferocious gratitude. Gratitude that shouts into the heavens, thank you for this challenge. Thank you for this pressure. Thank you for shaping me into a force the world cannot ignore, because nothing is wasted. No heartbreak, no defeat, no delay. All of it is raw material for the empire you are building. The universe is not punishing you. It is preparing you. It is forging you into something greater than you have ever dared to imagine. But you must endure the heat of the forge. You must let yourself be broken apart, and then piece by piece, rebuild yourself stronger. Adaptability is your sword. In a world that changes by the hour, those who cling to old maps are left behind. But those who adapt, those who see opportunity in the collapse of the familiar, they rise. They ride the chaos like a ship rides a storm. They do not curse the winds, they adjust the sails. And when you adapt with grace, you evolve. When you evolve, you cannot be caught. You cannot be broken. You cannot be stopped. This is how nature itself survives, not by the strength of the mighty, but by the agility of the willing. Are you willing? Are you willing to let go of what no longer serves you? Are you willing to outgrow the old you, the safe you, the small you? Because greatness demands sacrifice. The sacrifice of comfort, the sacrifice of easy validation, the sacrifice of shallow approval from those who will never understand the magnitude of your calling. You were not born to blend in. You were born to stand as a lighthouse in the raging storm, a beacon for those still searching through the darkness. But to shine, you must burn. And so the campaign presses on, one step deeper, one breath sharper. Learning becomes your daily armor. You must become addicted to growth, insatiable in your hunger for wisdom, ruthless in your pursuit of mastery. Read until your mind ignites. Study until knowledge becomes instinct. Practice until excellence becomes your default setting. Because the world does not yield to the loudest voice. It yields to the most prepared mind. When others coast on yesterday's wins, you are sharpening your edge. When others celebrate mediocrity, you are forging supremacy. When others sleep, you build. When others doubt, you declare. When others hesitate, you move. This is how you rise. Not once, but every day, relentlessly, unstoppably, until the very air around you vibrates with the energy of someone who has already won. Not someday. Now, not if, not maybe, not when things calm down. Now, the campaign never stops. The campaign is your life. Every breath, every choice, every second. And there will come a day when you look back, not with regret, but with a ferocious, triumphant pride. You will remember the battles you fought in the silence. You will remember the nights you chose discipline over distraction. You will remember the mornings you rose while the world slept. You will remember the 1,000 small victories that no one else saw. But that made all the difference. And you will smile, because you will know what most never understand. You were unstoppable not because the path was easy, but because the fire inside you burned hotter than any storm outside you. You were unstoppable not because the path was easy, but because the fire inside you burned hotter than any storm outside you. And now we charge the summit, because this is the moment you were born for. The world does not need another whisperer of doubt. The world does not need another excuse maker, another comfort seeker, another soul who trades destiny for distraction. The world needs you, fully unleashed. No more half measures. No more waiting for permission. No more hiding the greatness you were gifted for fear of what others might say. You were created to conquer, not people. No, that is too small a prize. You were created to conquer yourself. The fear within, the laziness within, the hesitation, the guilt, the old stories and broken patterns, all of it. Victory was never about what you could claim outside. Victory was always about who you would become inside. And now the hour is late and the stakes are high. The dream you carry is not just for you. It is for every soul who will be touched by your courage, every life that will be lifted by your light. When Martin Luther King Jr. marched through hate and hostility, he was not marching for himself alone. He was carrying the hopes of millions on his shoulders. When Rosa Parks refused to stand, she sat not for comfort, but for a cause that would echo across generations. When Nelson Mandela endured decades of prison, he endured not for his own name, but for the freedom of his people. And so must you. Your battle is not in vain. Your sacrifice is not meaningless. Your dream is not selfish. It is sacred. It is necessary. It is the beacon someone else needs to see, to know that they too can rise. And so you must not retreat. You must not falter. You must not quit. Because when you win, when you overcome, when you rise in glory, you give others permission to do the same. The whole world waits unknowingly for your example. Will you leave them waiting, or will you rise now and become the proof that greatness is possible? Because the truth is, it was never about the obstacles. It was never about the lack of time or money or opportunity. It was always about the fire within. And that fire, your fire, is eternal if you choose to feed it. So rise. Rise with all the rage of the betrayed dreamer. Rise with all the grace of the wounded healer. Rise with all the power of a soul who knows that destiny is not found. It is forged. You are not waiting for your moment. You are the moment. You are not seeking the light. You are the light. You are not chasing permission. You are the authority over your own life. Now is the hour. Now is the charge. Now is the critical assault against every doubt that has ever held you captive. Shatter it, tear down every inner wall, break every invisible chain, roar so loudly into the silence that every excuse, every fear, every hesitation flees before you. And then, and only then, step into the life that was waiting for you all along. Not someday. Now, because history is not written by the cautious. It is written by the defiant. It is carved by those who dare to move when others freeze. It is sculpted by those who dare to dream when others despair. And if you would only shift your mind to shift it once, shift it fully, you will find that you are no longer asking for victory. You are victory, victory in motion, victory incarnate, victory walking forward through fire, unburned and unbroken. And the world will see, the world will marvel. The world will wonder how you did it, but you will know. You will know that it was not magic. It was not luck. It was not privilege. It was one sacred decision. You refused to be stopped. And because you refused to be stopped, you became unstoppable.